Hey, Kelvin, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net. So I came across your video on the Hendy League YouTube channel, and I saw you playing, and it was really fun watching you play. You're a really good player, and I wanted to give you a few tips that can help you improve your serve. So let's take a look at your first and second serves, and I'll just give you a couple tips that I think will really make a difference in hitting bigger, faster, stronger serves. All right, Kelvin. So the very first thing I would mention, and again, you can take this advice, you can not take it. I think this is actually good education for all of us because you have a really good serve and we can learn things from your serve. The very first thing, love that you're serving and volleying, by the way. The very first thing I would mention is the height of your toss. Your toss is extremely high and it causes some issues on your serve. One of which is this really deep knee bend. You're almost touching the ground with your left knee. Knee bend comes with a bit of diminishing returns when you get super, super deep in the knee bend. And the only way you can have knee bend this deep is if you have the time to do it because the toss is really high. Now, to measure the toss, I like to put the ball somewhere near the head. Right? Nose level, eye level, chin level, you're at your hairline, somewhere head level, and then put a timer down. And I run the timer until you contact the ball. And I like to see in that timer that the toss timing is somewhere between 0.6 and 0.9 seconds. So let's put a timer down and we're going to run this until you contact the ball. And let's see what the timer is when you hit the ball. So here's 0.6, right? Like for reference, 0.65 is J.J. Wolf. 0.68 is Nick Kyrgios. 0.75 is Ben Shelton. Like this is when they're contacting the ball. 0.8 is Taylor Fritz. 0.83 is Federer and Nadal. 0.9 is Djokovic. And we keep going until you contact the ball. And you're at 1.2. This is too much time when the ball is at head level until contact because it's not like the more the better. And so what I would recommend is that you toss slower so that you toss lower. Your left arm is going up faster than all the players I just mentioned because the ball as an inanimate object, it's only going to go the speed that you make it go. So your arm is going up fast and that's sending the ball up fast. And what that does is a couple things, like more than just two, but several things. But one of which is it gives you the time for this knee bend that I would actually say is excessive and actually diminishes how explosive. It also causes your racket to have to time the ball. See, when the ball goes up really high, it then comes down quite fast and you have to time it. And it's easy to mistime it, especially with a leg drive that requires you to really explode up a far distance. And there are a lot of calculations here. It's hard to hit the sweet spot, yada, yada. So the first thing I would recommend is toss slower so that you toss lower. Your knee bend only has to be this much. That's it. That's the amount that pros bend their knees. And then it's very explosive out of that. But then it means that it's actually easier to time the shot. But it also means that you have less time, so you'll have to swing faster. If you've ever been late to work or late to the dentist, you know that you got to drive fast. When you toss the ball up and you only have, let's say, 0.8 seconds from the moment you release the ball, so like right now, if you only have 0.8 seconds to move the racket to the ball versus 1.2, you can see that 0.8 is less time. You've got to go faster. So it's a nice, easy way to build the necessity or the requirement for racket speed rather than tossing really high and actually having to slow down the racket to try to time it. So that's my first recommendation to improve the consistency of your toss, the ability to hit the sweet spot, and actually the ability to have a more explosive leg drive. The second thing I would recommend is that you work on the movement of your left foot. I want to show you some pros in the way they move their front foot versus yours. Okay, so on the right, I've got Felix Auger-Aliassime. And by the way, this video on the right is courtesy of Court Level Tennis. So thank you, Liam Appilato. Thank you so much. I want you to look at Felix's left foot. And I want you to see what it's doing. It's rotating so that he's moving his heel closer to the baseline. That is the movement that the front foot should make on a pinpoint stance serve. This allows for more coil. You're turning your body away from the court, bringing the back foot up right in behind the left foot. Right foot comes right in behind the left foot, and you really stay coiled, and then you become much more explosive in the upward movement. You can see, by the way, your knee bend versus his, right? So like his left knee, we don't see it because it's tucked in behind the right knee, but his left knee is much farther away from the ground than yours. Again, this is because his toss is lower than yours. He doesn't have the time to go as low. So when we look at your front foot, we can see that the foot, the toe is pointing slightly in at an angle, which it should be. Then the toe comes up and then it comes back down and it's at that same angle. The front foot on a pinpoint stance should rotate. It's actually going to make it much easier then for you to keep the right foot behind your left foot to stay coiled. But it's actually because your left foot does not make that move that enables the right foot to come around, because your knees are pointing too much into the court and it doesn't allow for your right foot to nestle in right behind your left foot. Here's JJ Wolf. I want you to watch his front foot. See that turn? You'll make that turn, then bring the back foot up. And look how he brings his right foot up and hits his left foot. By the way, the video, courtesy of 12K GP Tennis. So thank you so much for letting me use this video. I would love if you filmed yourself from this angle and got to see your foot do exactly what JJ's does. Doesn't it look like he's trying to foot fault with his heel? He's actually moving the toe away slightly from the baseline, and it's like he's foot faulting with his heel. That points the knees back. Watch this. Like that move right there. By the way, this is not his hip. Like coaches talk about this as being the hip. That's not necessarily the hip. That's the butt cheek. Like this is how you get the so-called hip to go into the court. It's actually the butt cheek. So like this line, he's touching that yellow line with his butt cheek. That's because his chest is pointing back, his belly button's pointing back, his knees are pointing back. And that's all possible because he rotated the front foot. So the lower toss and the front foot turning to allow the back foot to stay behind the front foot, copy those two ideas, your serve will greatly improve. Now, if you're tired of lugging around your old and outdated ball machine, then just make your tennis friends jealous and get the Proton Ball Machine by Hydrogen Sports. And right now you can get free shipping in the USA when you use my link. It's in the description. You'll find it in the first comment. You'll also see it on the screen at the end of this video. The Proton is fully programmable using its intuitive app. In fact, you control it using your smartphone or watch. It holds up to 100 balls and weighs less than 20 pounds. To see how truly amazing this ball machine is, and to get free shipping when you order one, be sure to use my link. So click right here to check out the Proton Ball Machine, and when you use that link, you'll be given a coupon code for free shipping. Kelvin, work on these ideas, and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. Kelvin, you got this.